that's why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this Degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
And really, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
You're absolutely right, Tracker. That is the ultimate goal, more or less. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels. I fucking suck at pouring beer, but you know what? We're figuring it out as we go. Welcome to this here fantastical Wednesday, Whiskey Wednesday. My name is Will Stevenson. I'm going to be your host for tonight, your barkeep, your drinker, host, show leader extraordinaire. I am joined by the fantastic Mr. and Mrs. McGettit, killer duo combination. It's good to see you guys. For those of y'all in the audience who have never seen me before, again, my name is Will Stevenson. I'm an iron worker that travels around the United States building TV and radio towers. And in my free time, I like to talk cryptocurrency and self-improvement to assholes such as yourself and also these beautiful, beautiful, awesome panel members. Welcome, everybody. Glad that y'all could make it. For those of you that don't know, also Mr. Nate McGettit over here to this side. Yep, camera left, real life right. The Mr. Nate McGettit, the Ascending Man, has his own YouTube channel. He's a gentleman that is focused on self-improvement and self-betterment at all times. He also does his own stream. And when he's over here hanging out with the Degen Roundtable, he likes to go and check out what's going on in all the other cryptocurrency spaces. He goes and hangs out in the other communities, goes and see what's going on in the other Telegram chats, goes and talks to all sorts of people and does a whole bunch of networking stuff. We've also got our Mrs. Producer on the far right over there, Mrs. Producer, Mrs. McGettit. She is our ideal team player in the making. She does all the camera switching. She brings up your chat. She starts the shows. She does all the thumbnails, all the fantastic stuff behind the scenes. Thank you very much, by the way, Mrs. Producer. I know we don't give you anywhere near as much kudos as you deserve, but welcome. Thank you for joining me this fantastic Whiskey Wednesday. And it's good to see you guys. How are y'all doing? What is new and exciting with you? Nate, what's up, bro?
Just different day, different ideas, just trying to move forward, continue ascending, right? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about so we were talking in the green room about a cool new idea and process you're having. Is that your own super secret sauce? Do we want to share that with the folks at home, or is that just between us?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious on that one because it's a brand new thought that I had, and I can go through the ideas and the thoughts, but specifically maybe how I plan on achieving this thought. Maybe I won't go into just in case. But then again, if somebody has the actionable ability to actually go through and do this, like make it work, make it happen, frankly, I think that would definitely be you guys ascending. And I think that's kind of what we all want for this community. And today is community day. So yeah, maybe I will go through this.
Should we okay, well we'll stop teasing the audience. If you want to talk about it or not, we'll leave that up to further parts in the show. But how are you doing, bro? What's new and exciting with you? What's up?
Oh, I've been in a lot of deep thought lately. I had 3 videos that I wanted to put out, and one of them had to do with the waves, the 2 waves, the 2 alt season waves, and kind of what to look for and how this bull run's gonna happen. And I was just watching it again, kind of editing around, and I was like, you know what? I really don't like this. I think I want to redo it. So I just deleted it. And I thought I was gonna redo that over the weekend, but because I was in deep thought and let's just say I got lazy enough where I just didn't make it happen. So that's my bad. That's my fault, and I should not do that. But yeah, because of that though, that it did, at least my thinking, I should say, it did spark some new ideas that are interesting. So, I'll probably do the video probably tomorrow or something. Then I'll put it out like literally the next day. But yeah, I look forward to it, guys, because my thoughts are quite interesting. I was talking to St. Wolf about kind of what his thoughts were on how it should shape up and if there's any merit to what I was thinking. And yeah, he felt very strongly that I was right over the target.
Okie dokie. Well, cool beans. So the bottom line up front is things are awesome and you've got some cool shit cooking. And that's the general gist of what I'm hearing. That sounds about right?
I may not be a dev, but the devil's cooking.
The dev is cooking. All right. Yeah. To be determined. Mrs. Producer, welcome. Mrs. McGetta. How are you doing? What is new and exciting with you, our ideal team player in the making? I love that subliner, by the way. That's freaking awesome. That was a great book. And I'm always reminded, like when we first did that. Man, it's been a long time since we covered that book in our book club and whatnot. But how are you doing, Mrs. Producer? What's up? What's new and exciting with you?
Not too much. I have gotten a new game today, so I'm looking forward to starting that. Other than that, we're mostly just getting ready for the Post 369 event.
Yes.
I did get our link updated in the description, so if anybody still needs tickets, go ahead, click on that. Use code Degen to get yourself 10% off. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, Soren has been in and out of being sick, and school got canceled for extreme weather, which was just literally because it's cold, and it's for Minnesota, it's not that cold, so that was weird. But
maybe they needed an excuse to get more of that government pay.
Yeah, right. But he got 2 days off, and today he stayed home too because it was just as cold. So I figured I'll just keep him home. But anyways, that's really it for me. Just getting ready for Vegas. Honestly, that's mostly what's occupying my time right now.
I like it. Yes. And for the folks at home who are unaware completely of what this Vegas thing is, if this is the first time you guys are ever hearing about it, on March 6th through 9th, the Pulse Chain Tour, so RG3, Black Hexagon, and a Wild SJ, they are putting on a fantastic Pulse Chain Tour conference down in Las Vegas. I want to say it's at the Flamingo or the Link or something like that. It's in Vegas on the Strip. But it's basically just a super cool, awesome conference that's going to be happening for Pulse Chain, Hexagons, all the Richard Hart ecosystem enthusiasts. Y'all should go check it out. If you don't have any tickets to it, or if you don't know anything about it, I suppose if I was a kind gentleman, I would drop a link in the chat. So I'll go ahead and pull that up for you guys all now. But oh man, I got to check out what RG3 is up to. That's what I got on my quick and easy to drop links in the chats thing. So I'll go ahead and send that out over there. But go click on the pulsechaintour.com events /Pulse 369 conference. It's the very bottom link on that little live chat that I just dropped. But there's going to be a super cool, awesome gig in Vegas. I'm going to be there. I know that Mr. Magettit, Mr. Nate Magettit, and Mrs. Producer, Mrs. Nate Magettit, are also going to be there. Our good friend Zenith is going to be there as well. There's a whole bunch of friends. Like, we're going to be helping out on their little conference thing. I'm going to be helping with security. I know, Nate, you're a speaker. I want to say Zenith is a speaker as well. So we're going to be all up in there over in Vegas. It's going to be a great time. Y'all should go check it out. If you want to get a discount on your ticket, use promo code DEGEN. That's DEGEN. When it comes to little checkout over on their website, pulsechaintour.com. That's basically all I got on that. But yeah, it's going to be a super crazy, cool, awesome, fun time. I'm stoked to see what we can cook up while we're over there. I know there's a golf tournament. I'm going to be participating in that. There's going to be all sorts of great, crazy, cool things. So it's 3 days of just degeneracy in Vegas and lots of crypto amigos getting together, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff. So go check it out if you're not already a part of that. And if you haven't bought your tickets yet, make sure you guys use promo code DGen. So that way we get our little numbers boosted up there, and everyone knows that we're the ones that sent you. So that's what I got going on. I'm glad to hear that both Mr. Producer and not Mr. Producer. I guess you're Mr. Producer. You can be Mr. Producer, Mr. McGettit, Mr. and Mrs. Producer. Glad to hear that you guys are both doing fine and fantastic. It's time to go ahead and transition over to the best part of the show. It's time for chat motherfucking shoutouts, where we make sure to shout out all of you guys that are in the YouTube live chats and all the Twitter live chats and I don't know if we stream to Facebook or wherever the hell, but all of you guys that are talking to us, we'd like to recognize you on the show. So let's go ahead and hop right on into it. Mrs. Producer, if you would be so kind as to pull up the first chat of the day, we got Mr. Moon-Pilled Rational Optics coming in saying, Degens assemble, with what looks like a U and an M to me, but I'm sure that on YouTube that's a flag. I want to say
Yeah, it's an American flag.
it's an American flag. Okay, cool. On StreamYard for some reason it shows up as an but good to see you, Mr. Moon-Pilled Rational Optics, a real life friend of mine. Glad that we could have you in the show, in the chats today. Welcome, welcome. Next up for the chat shoutouts, we've got Funk Master Hex, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. And then he's got the drink, and I don't know what CA is. What is CA, Mrs. Producer?
That's Canadian flag.
Oh, the Canadian flag. Oh, well, good evening to you. Glad to see you're up in a boot and having a great time up there in the great far north. You guys are probably having much worse weather than myself and Nate. I'm up in the great, beautiful state of Washington. It is 52 degrees Fahrenheit out today. I don't know what is it over in Minnesota for you, Nate? What's the weather like?
-11 and snowy.
Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus.
Yeah, last 3 days I've had to do all my work outside, like I do. Yeah, in that weather.
Fuck, dude, -11. That's chilly. I'm over here like wearing my leather sheepskin jacket and shit, and it's like I'm like moderately comfortable. We were just having a campfire outside, and I had a different jacket on, but that's fucking nuts, man. -11. So shout out to you, Mr. Funkmaster Hex, up there in Canada, taking one of those snowy bullets for us. We appreciate you taking that nasty weather, so we don't have to down here. That's excellent. Well, it's good to see you, Funkmaster Hex. And speaking of good to see people, we've got another Pacific Northwesterner up in here. We've got Mr. Kenturian 54X with the ahoy, Degens. Ahoy, Mr. Kenturian. It's good to see you, broski. I'm actually going to be on Minecraft later on tonight, Mr. Kenturian, if you wish to join me. And I'm gonna basically be pulling an all-nighter, so it's gonna be a great time walking around in the block space. By the way, for those of you guys that have not already joined our Degen Roundtable Telegram chat, there is a QR code on the far bottom sign, or the far bottom right-hand corner of the screen, a little QR code that says @DRT join now. If you guys are not a member of the Degen Roundtable Community Telegram, I would highly suggest that y'all become a member of it, because it's a super cool, awesome, fun time. What you got to do is just go to your URL at the top of your screen. For those of you guys that are listening on the audios and not watching on the visuals, then you just go to t.me/DRT join now. And that will bring you out over into our Degen Roundtable Telegram chat, where we talk about video games, we talk about cryptocurrency, we talk about anime, we post dirty, spicy, not safe for work memes and all sorts of cool things. So hop on over there and have a good time. So that's what we've got going on with that stuff. But I kind of did that in the middle of chat shoutouts, didn't I? Anyways, bottom line up front, it's good to see you, Mr. Kenturian 54X. I know we play Minecraft from time to time, so I am cordially inviting you to play some Minecraft tonight. It'll be a great experience. Next up, though, in the chat.
Just before you move on, what's quick funny story.
Yes.
So I was all like, hey, I want to go ahead and I want to join this thing, right? And do the Minecraft stuff. That'd be a lot of fun. Because I myself have a Mojang account. And so I went to go get back on my Minecraft. And because I didn't move it from Mojang over to Google or Microsoft, I still have my account, but it's forever stuck and can't be moved over. So it's literally just lost. And I have to create a whole new account and buy the whole thing again and all that crap.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Like one of the nice things about, is it Mojang or Mojang? I've heard it pronounced both ways before. I like Mojang.
I don't think it matters.
Mojang. Yeah, sorry, Swedes, for all of you Swedish people out there. I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. Mojang's super cool and awesome. One of the really cool things oh, goodness, excuse me, been drinking too much. One of the cool things they've done recently is they have introduced cross-platform capability between PlayStation and Xbox and computer. So, like, whatever magical internet stuff they did to make that happen, it's super cool. I think that they're definitely one of the first in the cross-platform, and I might just be super late to the appreciation game, but I'm super glad that Minecraft can be played across all of the platforms, all the games. I know that, like, there was cross-platform capability in Sea of Thieves and World of Tanks, and like maybe like PUBG or something. There's tons of them now, but Mojang, Mojang, I appreciate you guys making it possible for me to play Minecraft with everybody, no matter what platform they're on. You can even play on your phone on the same servers and things as everybody on their computer is playing. So I hope you get that up and running quick as possible, Nate, so that way we can go and mine and craft and throw some blocks all over the place and do some silly things. But we're going to continue on with the chat shoutouts and bring up Mr. M Rock Jockey, Mrs. Producer. We had him up for a little bit, but we've got whiskey for my friends and beer for my horses. I'm going to be a horse tonight. I'm drinking some. Oh, by the way, Nate, I don't know if I asked you what you're drinking. It looks like some Stella Artois, but I'm drinking some of this fancy schmancy Pacific Northwest Rainier, some of that Rainier beers, baby, from Mount Rainier over by Seattle. So that's what I'm cruising and sipping on over here in Washington territory. That's like the cheap local beer for us Pacific Northwesterners. So for shout out to all of my Pacific Northwest folks up there, whether you're in British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, that whole area of Canada, all the way up to Alaska, all my Alaska bros. It's good to see all y'all. But
Yeah, it's funny because
Mr. M Rock Jockey,
the
go
what
ahead.
that one's name, what that same type of brand of beer is named down here is Natural Ice.
Natty
Very
Ice.
fitting, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. Natty Ice is I drink Natty
Or
Ice when I'm in the
natural
Midwest.
ice. Natural ice.
Natural Ice. Okay,
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Different than Natty Ice.
Yeah, natural ice. But yeah, I just found it funny. It's like the difference is you got the mountain over there, right? And then I've got the ice here.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I know when I'm in like Nebraska or I'm over in the Midwest, I'm drinking them Bush beers, all those corn country beer stuffs, and then up in oh shoot, what's the beer? There's a beer up in Canada. Forgive me for forgetting. When I'm over in New Hampshire, there's that Montreal beer that I cannot remember the name of. Oh, it's blue. God bless America. I can't remember it for the life of me.
Funk
Super
Master,
cool,
help
though.
us out.
Yeah, Funk Master for real. I know that somebody over there in either Newfoundland or Montreal or Toronto or something. Dang, it's like a dark blue. Labatt, that's what it is, Labatt's. Yes, I was drinking some Labatt's up in New Hampshire. It's always good to drink the local beers. That's the thing that I do, drink the local cheap stuff. But anyways, shout out to M Rock Jockey, whiskey for my friends and beer for my horses. It's good to see you. Next up in the chat shoutouts, it looks like we've got my very good friend and amigo, Your Health Unplugged, Dr. Alan Chen. I love that profile picture, by the way, bro. That's fucking majestic as shit. But it's colder in North Texas than the Northeast right now. 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Great time for a 16-hour workday. You're absolutely right, fucking Dr. Chen. 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy. Bro, it's 52 degrees for me. Y'all gotta get on this Washington state weather. Oh man, that is absolutely ridiculous.
How the hell are you in Texas and it's 10 degrees?
That's fucking nuts, man. That is absolutely nuts.
That's my kind of weather, and I'm the exact opposite of you, man. What the hell?
Jinkies. Yeah, that is so crazy. Wow, I'm glad that I left Texas when I did and came up here to the nice warm, Port Angeles, Washington. That's freaking great. Shout out to all my Washington Hexkins, by the way. I gotta hit you guys up and see what's going on up in the local area. But before we do that, we're going to continue on with the chat shoutouts. Looks like next up, we've got our favorite Hexican who is lost in Asia. Bro, it's probably like a bazillion degrees for you over there, present and accounted for. Good to see our old Air Force friends out here. Glad that we could have you, Mr. Hexican, lost in Asia. Glad that you could join us today. I can't remember what time it is over there in wherever you are. I don't know if it's Thailand or Taiwan or Taipei or Thai something. But good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Next up with the chat shoutouts, so we've got our very good friend, Mr. Jonathan. What's up, boys? Going on a date later. Ooh, Mr. Jonathan going on a date. I'm glad to hear it, bro. Go get after it. Make sure that you are the rock about which the waves of emotions crash and that you pay for everything because that's what men fucking do. Good to see that you're out there having a good time, though, Jonathan. Welcome. Next up, though, ooh, shout out to Bellingham from Mr. Vanderwolf. Yes, Bellingham, Washington is a fantastic place. I've got a good friend up there that I got to go visit. Shout out to you, Derek, if you're listening. And I know there's a bunch of Hexicans up there on the northern side of Seattle. So I'm just not but a quick ferry ride away from where y'all are at. But it'll be a good time. Welcome, Wonderwolf. I'm presuming that's our friend Simon, so it's good to see you, Simon. I think he's over in the tropical island somewhere, so he's probably having some great weather, great time. But it's good to see you. And then finally, we've got Mr. Crispy Degen with the Quattro Cinco. Good to see you, Crispy. Welcome, welcome. You know what, Mrs. Producer? While we're welcoming people to the stream, it seems that oh, Labatt's blue. Yes, thank you very much. I'm looking in the private chats right now. Mrs. Producer, since we're in the realm of welcoming people onto the stream, I'm going to presume that our good friend who is in the private chats with us is ready to hop on stream. So whenever he is ready, go ahead and bring him on up and in here, and I will announce, or I will give him a nice warm hearty welcome, and we can introduce him to the conversation that we are having here. I don't see anything popping up in the private chat, so I'm going to presume that he is not ready. But go ahead and
give me just 1 second to adjust the cameras, and then we'll get him in.
Oh, okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, for those of you that don't know, we've got some good ass awesome people here joining us today. And also just reminder, shout out to Crispy. I want to thank you, by the way, Mr. Crispy Man, specifically for all of the crazy cool like math and charting work that you do. When all that staking came out, when all that that origin address doing all those moves that it did, I was so fucking lost, man, until I watched your stream and you explained all the math and explained all the the reasons why people do the things that they do, and what the new like daily share rates and the payouts are going to be. Thank God for you, dude, because like you were just a beacon of information in this dark place full of Twitter silly gooses saying that all this crazy stuff's going to go happen. The T-share rate's going to drop to like, you know, half a hex per day per T-share and all this craziness. And then there's Crispy Man coming out with like, nope, this is what's actually happening. This is what the new share rate's going to be. This is what everything's going on. These are all the stats. These are all the numbers. So shout out to you, Crispy Man. I'm super duper appreciative of everything that you do for us here in Hexaco. So, Mrs. Producer, as soon as you are ready, go ahead and bring our good friend on in. And yeah, that I think takes care of the chat shoutouts.
That's correct. Yep, we're all done there.
Yes, Nate. Earlier on, when we were in the green room, I was asking you if there were any news events that had caught your eye recently, and I will ask you the same question while we get our guest ready. Do you have anything on the top of your mind that you think is interesting that you've seen through your news scrollings? Because I've got one or two things that I think I kind of want to talk about, but I'll toss it over to you first, Broski. Anything?
Well, you couldn't. Instead of that, maybe we could do that a little bit later on. I got one in particular that has to do with an interesting correlation of whenever the Fed, pulls out money for governments. Corruption increases exponentially, which is wild. So we do have an article on that we can go through, but I think right now we have a special guest who has something very fascinating to tell us.
Hey, boys,
we
Mrs.
do have
Get It. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome, Mr. Fast Abdul. For the folks at home who have never seen you before, can you give yourself? I'll give you my quick and dirty elevator pitch, and then I'll toss it over to you to add on to. But for those of you guys who have never seen Fast Abdul before, Fast Abdul is the world's best camel trader. He's also one of the creators and marketers for the 2fucks.io protocol, which is a fork of Balancer. I want to say a fork of something similar to Balancer. I don't know. I'm close or anything. I'm close to something. But Mr. Fast Abdul is the Hexagon extraordinaire who likes to go out and meet folks and build cool things and stuff. Broski, what's new and exciting with you, Mr. Fast Abdul? Welcome to the stream, by the way.
Thank you, Will. You were pretty close. 2fucks is a fork of Aura Finance, which is more or less a fork of Convex. And the Fux Exchange is a fork of Balancer, and 2fucks is built on top of the Fux Exchange. So you're on the right train.
Okay, so Convex builds on top of
Convex is built on top of Curve. So for like in order of like when these things happened, like in crypto, first there was Curve, which is like, and Curve still exists and it moves like millions and millions of dollars, mostly stable coins. Curve was like the first novel way you could have more than 2 things in a liquidity pool. You'd have up to eight separate assets, right? And then Convex was built on top of Curve, and then Balancer happened. Balancer's kind of a fork of Convex, like kind of Convex 2.0, and it handles more than just stable coins. And there's actually a Balancer V2 and V3 now. And then Aura Finance was built on top of Balancer, and it's more or less a fork of Convex. And then the Fux Exchange happened, which is on Pulse Chain, which is a fork of Balancer V2. And then 2Fux happened. We did a fork of Aura Finance and built it on top of the Fux Exchange. And now we've added a fork of Hidden Hand to administer bribes as well. And just about done with that.
Oh, so Bribery is almost live or something like that.
Technically, it's live. You could go to bribery.io right now, and you could place a bribe or receive a bribe. I haven't told anybody that yet, so nobody's listening. This is private, right?
Okay, yeah. This is just us chickens over here. That's excellent. Cool beans. I had no idea.
We're saying it's in open beta right now. We're still poking at it a bit. It's very safe though, because you're only the only thing that's trading hands is votes, not like as far as the person accepting the bribe, they're not no tokens leave their wallet. So
gotcha.
Pretty low risk in that regards. As far as the person placing the bribe, they're actually they're placing a bribe. Tokens are leaving their wallet. So I will be having conversations with the whales and founders that are planning on doing that in the near future.
That's pretty cool. And so for the folks that don't know what that means, is basically you can encourage people to put money into certain liquidity pools for X, Y, and Z reason, whatever that might be, by bribing them on chain with votes and money and all sorts of cool things or something along those lines. Yes, I took off my sunglasses because I couldn't see the screen very well. So it was going to be a good sunglasses stream, but excellent. Well, cool beans, bro. I had no idea that Bribery was so close to being like like it's technically live right now, but it's almost,
it is technically live and usable right now. I literally just haven't told anybody except for you 3 people. So nobody really knows, but
awesome.
It's done. We did it. It's kind of a big deal. I'd say it's probably the second or third most complicated protocol on the Pulse chain as far as the code goes, though it is a very niche use. So I'm not expecting it to change the world necessarily, but it will change how liquidity flows on Pulse chain. But excellent. I think what you guys want to hear about is probably the next thing that I'll be launching. I suspect.
So for those of you guys that don't know, and I'll warm the audience up. We'll do a little bit of foreplay before we launch right on into it. There's a couple protocols that exist that allows people to basically print a stable coin out of a token that they already own. So we have liquidloans.io, which allows you to create USDL, which is a $1 token that is backed by Pulse, the Pulse coin, right? Or wrapped Pulse token, however you want to consider the basically the same thing there. There's probably some details that I'm ignoring, but whatever. We've also got the Earn protocol. We've got the Power City and the Flex and all that stuff, where you can print stable coins based off of Hex, and you can print stable coins based off of PulseX. So we have 3 of the 4 Richard Hart core coins for those of you guys that subscribe to Sami, the core coins, right? We've got Pulse Chain, we've got Hex, we've got PulseX. You can print stable coins off of all those 3 things. And it appears, I've seen on Twitter and I've seen on Telegram, that there is a new stable coin making protocol that allows you to collateralize a 4th token to create stable coins and basically DCA out or DCA in or do lending protocols and stuff. And it's based on all the same code as all the ones that already exist. And I hear that you are involved in this process, Mr. Fast Abdul. Can you give us a little bit more information?
Yeah, I hear it's very green, like the greenest.
It will be the greenest money printer available, in my opinion. So the protocol is called ink printer, and there's a good reason for that. It will, for some users, I suspect it will print the ink token for them. Other users will be able to take their ink tokens and turn them into stable coins. And those stable coins, they'll have an option to do single-sided staking via the protocol. There will also be farming for both the stable coin and for the core token in the protocol, which is called the print token, short for ink printer. So those will both have single-sided staking options, and they'll both have liquidity farms that are native to that protocol that will run for the first 369 days, I believe. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw other farms pop up for both the print token and the stable coin on the 2FUX protocol. I know a guy. It could probably work out. So they will. These tokens will have a lot of utility in both single-sided staking and liquidity farming on, I suspect strongly, multiple protocols.
This is fantastic. So like we had, so I know that it's no crazy secret that there was thoughts on creating the lending protocol on the DAI copy when we copied, you know, the entire system state of Ethereum.
Yeah.
Then DAI was created on Pulse Chain. That was in the works, but dude, like when you had announced earlier that you're creating the lending protocol based on incentive token instead of on the PDAI, like the DAI copy from Ethereum, like I was so fucking stoked, because it's like, damn bro, we have like 3 out of the 4 of the major tokens in the RH ecosystem. It's like, this is such a fantastic pivot. I was so stoked to hear that, bro. What was it that like what needed to be changed in order to switch it from the PDAI the PDAI protocol versus like the ink protocol? What influenced that decision?
What influenced the decision? As far as making the change, we're literally talking about like a couple lines of code, right? Like,
okay.
You know, switching collateral assets.
Yeah.
The protocol was about to be was in audit, and I paused the audit and said, "Hey guys, I'm switching collateral. Give me a week." And so the audit will resume, and it would be a relatively short audit, because this code has been audited hundreds of times probably by now. But regardless, initially the plan was to make a liquidity fork for PDAI. So PDAI would be used as collateral to make a stable dollar, right? My general experience was that the PDAI community was not super in favor in that, by and large. I know some members are very disappointed that I haven't gone through with this. I've put it on pause. I could come back to that and still launch a stablecoin that uses PDAI for collateral.
Sure.
I still have the code. It's pretty much the same code. Change a couple lines of code, press the button, and we could launch that. But I don't want to push something on a community that doesn't want it. And the Pulse Chain community at large seems to be extremely supportive of the concept of launching a stable coin that uses ink for collateral to finish the quattro of collateral tokens that use the RH core tokens. So that's just a minor announcement on my part, and many people have joined the Telegram. There's lots of questions, lots of people are excited, and the right people are excited. So I think, with community support, I think this is going to do very, very well. Just my opinion, not financial advice. But as far as the PDAI thing goes, like I wish those guys the best on their journey to $1. I think it would have helped them to have a stable coin that used PDAI for collateral to get to $1. But in my opinion, it was not shared by all. And certainly I don't care what everyone thinks, but I want to make good choices for the communities that I work with. And if the community is not behind something, then hey, maybe I won't build it.
Yeah, that is one thing that you do very well at, is keeping your finger on the pulse of the community, right?
Yeah.
And so I definitely do respect you for that, for sure. But moving back over into ink printer,
sure.
I think this is a great way for people to lock up their now more rare ink, because before the ink was all inflationary, right? and it's just you would print ink all day long. Well, now that Richard Hart has slashed it by, what was it, 95% overall or 99%? The yields. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Ink is a lot more rare. So what you're going to be able to do now is you can simply lock them away into a vault, print yourself out some stable coins, go buy more Hex. And then with or you could buy some Pulse, maybe some Pulse X, maybe you could buy all three of those and then go lock those ones up into Flex, Earn, and Liquid Loans. There you go. Now you just keep printing more.
Yeah, there's a ton of great loops you can do with this. The bottom line is, like, I think personally that the price of ink is going to go up. So if we look at the ink price today and we say that that price is going to double, what is the price of ink today? Let's find out.
We're looking at like $2,
$50, $60. It's $2.40. So let's round up to $2.50 for easy math. So if the price of ink was at $2.50 and you put the ink into the protocol and took out, let's say you put in $10,000 worth of ink and you took out $5,000, if the price of ink doubles to $5, you can then take out another $5,000 and your collateral ratio still is the same, right? And then the money that you took out, you get to keep that money forever. Even if the price of ink drops to near zero, if you've already taken out $10,000, that's your $10,000. You never have to pay it back unless you want to get your ink back, and then you just have to pay back in what you took. But you're still that ink is tied to your wallet, even though you've deposited into a vault. You can buy it back with the exact same amount that you withdrew at any time, right? So the price of ink can go up, which allows you to take out more stable coins and maintain the same collateral ratio, but you never lose possession of your ink unless your vault is liquidated, which is maybe a longer discussion. But if you maintain a healthy collateral ratio, that is unlikely to occur for the knowledgeable user.
Yeah. Yep. The issue, I know a lot of people have issues with the redemptions, but in truth and reality, the redemptions themselves, the only thing with those is that it just doesn't really feel good, but it's not necessarily bad. Whereas the liquidation,
good, technically, right?
Yeah, you can. There's strategies with it. The problem is liquidations. There's really only like a couple of strategies why you'd purposely want to get yourself liquidated. But in general, that's the bad one. That's the one where you do lose everything. And you don't want that.
You don't lose everything though, because you've already removed, you've already taken cash out of the protocol, right? The stable coin, which in this case is going to be INCD, the ink dollar. So you'll have your ink dollar. Like you put in $10,000 worth of ink, you took out $5,000 in ink dollars, right? And then the price of ink drops to a penny, like from $5. You're going to get liquidated. You still have the $5,000, however, and how much ink can you now buy with your $5,000? A lot more than you have.
That is true.
So in that way, it can be a stop loss against mostly sort of catastrophic things that are unlikely to happen in a day to a token like ink with relatively thick liquidity, though it's not impossible, right? And we saw the same concept applies to liquid loans and Earn and Flex. Is like, you probably won't see an 80% dip in a day. So if your collateral ratio accounts for that, probably you won't get liquidated. In my experience, most people that got liquidated on liquid loans or Earn or Flex, like either they didn't understand or they did it on purpose.
Yeah. Yep. And unfortunately, I was noticing that too. A lot of people didn't quite understand, and it's kind of sad to hear them crying, like, oh no, I liquidated, this is Liquid Loan's fault, things like that.
Most of them weren't liquidated. Most of them were redeemed against, and the word liquidated caught in their head. And sometimes they thought they lost their money because their vault was closed, but they didn't realize that it was paid off and the remainder was sent back to them because it was just a redemption.
Yep.
And it took them a while to clue into what had actually happened. But redemption is just like, you're the lowest vault. So then if somebody redeems the stable coin, which pushes it back up to the peg, it comes out of your vault, but you don't lose very much at all. It gets your loan gets paid off by somebody else is the majority of what's happening there. So a lot of people with liquid loans in particular in the early days were shouting, oh, I got liquidated. But on closer inspection, when I talk to them, it'd be like, no, you got redeemed against, and you pretty much have all your money back but depending what the market did after you got redeemed, you may even have more money than you would have had, right? Like it, it was very situational. So, there's a learning curve there, and that part, education is the key there. But you're never going to catch everybody, right? There's always going to be somebody who thinks they got liquidated, but like you'd have to work pretty hard to get liquidated on those protocols. You'd have to really not understand what was happening or do it on purpose, which I think happens much more often.
Yeah,
there's I want to take a moment here and step back and zoom out for the folks that are like brand new to crypto, or the folks that are brand new to these protocols. And I'm going to kind of do my best to explain what this stuff is. So essentially, you have an item and you want dollars, right? So let's say here I have this Xbox controller, right? This Xbox controller, will say it's worth $50. So being worth $50, I can take this Xbox controller and I lock it in a smart contract and I receive $45. It's worth 50, I get 45, right? So there's a collateralization ratio of 110%, which my math is not perfect here, so forgive me, right? But because this is worth $50, I can pull out $45 of value. This thing is locked in a contract that I still have custody over it, and so does a smart contract. And I also have this $45 of printed money that comes out of nowhere based on the value of this controller. Now, as the stock market goes up and it goes down, the value of this controller will rise and it will fall, right? If the value of the controller goes up to $100, then I'm looking good. I still have my $45 that I pulled out, and it's a loan, right? It's not it is a collateralized loan. So at any point I can pay my $45 back, and I can get my controller back, plus like a couple fees. So we'll say $48, right? So I pay my $48 back. I get my controller back, and I now have custody of the asset. But if you have an asset and you want the stable coin value, right? So the US dollars, then you can put your asset into a smart contract box, and it sits there, and it basically just exists. And other people, they can be like, oh, I have a whole bunch of money. I'm going to pay off. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of controller shares, and in so doing, they pay off your loan. This is the thing that we were talking about with the redemptions and stuff. If somebody else has 40, like if they have $60 and they want $60 worth of controllers, then they can start buying controllers from the open market where you've put your controller in that little smart contract box, and it starts taking away little chunks of your controller and giving it to the other person that's paying off your loan. So you've got that $45 still. Parts of your controller are going off and being given to other people because your loan is getting paid off by other folks. If you're the lowest collateralized loan in the pool, right? That's how this process sort of works. It's essentially, you have an asset, right? You put it into a smart contract. The smart contract holds it. You get money printed out of nowhere. You can go and spend it. You can go and invest it. You can go and do whatever. You can go and buy candy bars. You can give a fuck about the controller, never do anything with the controller again, and you have your dollars, and that's all good and fine and dandy. Or you can just be like, I am taking some money for a little bit. I'm going to pay it back later, and I'm going to get my controller back, right? This is essentially how this protocol works, except instead of Xbox controllers, you can use incentive token, you can use Pulse Chain, you can use Pulse X, you can use Hex. Those are the ones that are currently, the incentive one isn't live quite yet. But that's the one that Fast Abdul's talking about. So that's essentially what this blockchain internet protocol is that we're talking about. It's, you have an asset, you want the dollar value, you don't want to lose the asset, you can put it into a loan process where other people can pay it off, or where if the price of the controller shoots down to $30, and you've still got the 45 out there in La La Land, then your controller gets liquidated and sent out to everyone else that does some sort of function whenever the price of something drops. So you pulled out your $45. The price of the controller can go up, it can go down, it can go left, it can go right, do whatever. And that's essentially what this thing is. And can you guys help me fill in any sort of spots that I'm missing here? Because that was the super simple.
0% interest loans.
Oh yes, that too.
Yeah, so that are,
you can pay it back whenever you want.
that you can
If
pay
you wanna
back
pay it
whenever
back.
you want, but you don't have to ever pay it back, which has some potential interesting tax implications.
Yes.
Not financial advice. Consult your accountant. But yeah, in some states and provinces, countries, etc., you may not be taxed on loans. So
Correct.
that could be an interesting way to look at it. But the bottom line is it's a tool that will allow people to enact numerous different strategies, including taking leverage on ink, having a stop loss on ink, right? Or finding a way to get more ink tokens, because effectively it creates a single-sided staking scenario for ink, because you take your ink token, you can put it into the protocol, right? Which is, it's just one token going in, one token comes out, which is the stable coin. And then there's a single-sided staking option for that stable coin. And therefore I can interpret that it is a single-sided staking option for ink with 2 additional steps.
Yes.
So it's, and that stable coin, you take out $1 in the stable coin, which will be the ink dollar, INCD. That is always redeemable all day long for $1 in ink tokens. So if you change your mind and you have a couple different options. You can redeem it via the protocol, but if you have a vault, the better choice is to just pay off your loan, and you can take out the ink that you put in initially. So those tokens are still tied to your wallet. You just have to pay off the loan that you took. But there's a strategy where you put in $5,000 worth of ink, you take out $2,000, we'll say, you stake that single-sided inside the protocol, and then you use the yield that you get to buy more ink tokens, which you put back into the protocol. Like you could double, triple, quadruple your ink bags by using leverage and keeping it, and stay very, very safe, because you'd constantly be increasing your collateral ratio, and you would have an option in the event of emergency to withdraw your staked stable coins, the ink dollars, which are never locked. You can always withdraw them, and then pay off your loan at any time, or change the collateral ratio on your loan so you wouldn't get liquidated. So that's one of the safer strategy options, is just to rotate through ink and get more and more ink and build a giant vault of $10 billion worth of ink. That I might consider doing something like that, but there's lots of other plays too.
Something to keep in mind for that strategy is it requires the price stay either stagnant or go up. If the price goes down, then your vault gets liquidated against, and you are left with the stable
Your vault doesn't definitively get liquidated if the price goes down.
It doesn't definitively get liquidated, but if the threshold drops below the mark, if you
drop below 110% collateralization ratio,
correct. Yes.
And most people should stay over 150% all the time as the bare minimum. So there's some other nuances there in how the protocol works, where 150 is kind of a key number. But like the price, if you started out at like a 300% collateral ratio, right? Like the price would have to drop a lot before you got to the 110% collateralization ratio. It's much more likely that you'd get redeemed against, which just means that other people would pay off your loan for you and you wouldn't have to pay it back, then that you would get liquidated.
Yeah.
So just real quick, when people pay off your loan for you, they get your collateral and you lose the collateral. So you got to keep the stable coin, you got to keep the dollars, and you lose the controller. So like that's something for people to be aware of. That was a big problem, like you guys were just saying a minute ago, with liquid loans when it first launches. People didn't understand the redemption feature. I know for sure that I didn't. And I lost a shit ton of pulse because other people redeemed against my loan. And so I lost a lot of my asset and I got my loan paid off. So but
typically you get some of your asset back, right? Like usually you would have like, oh, you lost some of your loan is paid off, your vault was redeemed against, but you received the balance back of the pulse that was not redeemed against. That is the typical user experience with the redemptions. And usually in the moment, like on the second that it happens, it's pretty close to a neutral as far as what it cost you. Like it might be like a 3% ratio, but it's not like you lost 80% because you were liquidated. Like it's very different from that scenario. But when you're not expecting it and you don't understand it, right? And it can be alarming, right?
Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. Know what you're doing. And that's the big like game in crypto, isn't it? Really, it's just like know the shit that you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get fucked up. You know, if you're clicking on links you shouldn't be clicking on, if you're approving transactions that you haven't read through, if you're going to like some sort of silly website that you don't know, like you could lose everything.
And if you're moving around $200, like,
yeah,
you know, you might think like, oh, this is safe because I'm moving around $200. But if the wallet that you're moving around $200 has $50,000 in it, you could be risking the $50,000. So, you know, it definitely buyer beware and stuff like that. But when we start talking about these kind of protocols, like if you're putting in $10,000 into anything, like take the 20 minutes and read the white paper, right? Like, you know, like it's like you can afford to take, like nothing will happen in the 20 minutes before, like if you want to press the button right now, like push it back 20 minutes, read the white paper, go ask some questions in the Telegram room, look up who the founder is, like before you commit your $10,000, right? And it's just such a better practice.
Like we would do this in real life when we go to buy a car, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Kelly Blue Book. You go and you do the research. You talk to your car
for
friend.
Months. You talk to all your bros.
Yeah.
So much research before you bought a car, right?
On blockchain, it's so simple. You click a button and bam, thousands of dollars have moved. You know, we send the test transaction before we send the final transaction. You make sure you're sending to the right wallet by like sending $5 to it first before you send the entire 50 grand. And it's just like, oh shit, I sent all my money to the burn address. What have I done? You know, like there was a there was a course I was in a long time ago where somebody accidentally sent 50 ETH. You know, back when ETH was, you know, $3 grand, they sent 50 ETH to like a burn address, and it was like, oh,
50
there
ETH.
goes like
50.
Yeah, 50 ETH.
Oh,
50 ETH. We made a lot of fun of this guy because we call it like it was 50 cent, and we called him 50 ETH, and it was just like this poor bastard, like he had lost so much money because he did some quick click throughs, and it's just pay attention to the protocols that you're using, right? Like watch this podcast, watch other podcasts, watch all the stuff that Fast Abdul is doing where he's talking about this protocol before you start going and like playing and throwing your life savings at it. And even then, like, don't throw your entire life savings at it first. Throw like, you know, 10, 20, 50, $100 at it. And then once you learn how it functions and you're knowledgeable, then you can start, you know, doing things. It's the same thing as anything in life. You don't want to throw tons of value at something that you don't know about, right? Like caveat emptor, I can't say it enough. It's just, oh, excuse me. It's this crazy world that we live in. And in cryptocurrency, there's no control alt delete. There's no control Z, excuse me. Like you can't just go back and undo something. You can't call your bank and say like, hey, I accidentally gave my PIN to this scammer guy. It's like, oh, sorry, bro, you already lost all your money because you're the only one that's in charge. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to like to undo your mistakes. It's like this crypto world is very serious. So for all the folks at home, make sure that you guys are paying attention to the things that you're doing and you understand fully the protocols that you're using, or just be ready to accept the consequences if you happen to be wrong. So that's what I got on that. Go ahead, Nate. What you got?
Well, no, I mean, absolutely. You are correct about that because there's been a lot of stupid mistakes that people make. I know one of my biggest ones that I always do, regardless of the transaction, is I'm always looking at the first four numbers or letters of the where anything is being sent to, and then also the last four as well. And I make sure that they match up exactly to the wallet that I want it to go to. And it's vitally important. I've always thought of the idea of something akin to a vault wallet, where you literally don't touch anything with that wallet ever. And then you also connect it to a cold storage wallet. And so like anything that you want to hold for a while, you literally just send it over there, just wait. And then you send it back over to your hot wallet after, you know, you want to go and sell it or anything like that. Right. And I've done that a couple of times where I've sent and brought things back. But the only connection this vault wallet will ever have is literally directly connected to the wallet that you do, the safest wallet that you do the majority of your stuff with, you know? And so if you can kind of think of it like this, like you have your center wallet like this, then you got branch offs, right? To like different wallets and things like that.
Yeah.
You got the under wallet here.
Treasures all day long, right?
Treasures. Yes. Actually, I had I had a student of mine, KG, who was well, his name's Kevin. His last name it starts with a G though. Not Internet Wallet KG, but
Okay, I was about to
a
say,
different one.
like,
A different one.
like Internet
Was he
Money,
a
Glorious
student?
Beard, KG.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic guy. He's got a lot of questions he's trying to learn. You know, he is trying to ascend, and I am very proud of him for doing it. But he was just asking me today about cold wallets. And I was just like, Trezors, go get the Trezors, and make sure you get them directly from where they're made, directly from the main the main company.
Yeah, don't buy them at a department store. Buy them online from Trezor. I'm not going to give you the website because I don't have it memorized, but that is don't buy them on eBay like, or on Amazon, like from Trezor directly. Come from the Czech Republic, I think.
I want to say that it's Trezor.io, but I'm not positive. That's the first thing that comes up on a Google search. But again, go check out the Twitter page. Go check out all of your favorite key opinion leaders talking about it. Like, cross-reference websites before you just click on links. I know that links can be spoofed.
I think Matty Allen always has a link to Trezor on his profile.
That would make sense. Yeah. There's some drama with Ledger. Ledger used to be a really cool hardware wallet site, but they started sharding and sending out their users seed phrases, their magical passwords that access the blockchain. They started sending that out to third party groups or something a while back, and it's like that is something that, like, that's a reputation damage point that cannot be undone. So I used to recommend ledgers to people. I no longer do so. Trezor is the way to go, as far as I understand. Yeah, as Frank White says, if the user enables that.
But see, the fact is, it's if the thing that with the ledgers is like they created some kind of like possible backdoor, and obviously it was supposed to be for, and I think this is what Frank White is talking about here, only if you decide to turn it on. But the problem that you run into, and we crypto people know this better than just about anybody else in the world, what is the government going to be able to do, especially since it's France? Okay, think of the creator of Telegram, right? What if they decide they want to do something? What are they going to do? Maybe they'll just turn it on themselves and go see what the heck is going on, or maybe just take that crypto of yours because perhaps you're not supposed to be using crypto to bank right now. We don't want you doing that, and so they're just going to take it from you anyways.
Interesting. So, you had mentioned that creator of Telegram, Pavel Durov. He's actually Russian. I can't remember what France did. They did something.
Basically, they just picked him up. They picked him up, and he went missing for a while. And all of a sudden, he's just fine. And then that's when Telegram's what was it? Terms of service changed, and there's new rules now about Telegram and being not as private as it should be.
It's a good messaging system, but it's not perfect, just like anything out there. Again, make sure that you guys read the terms and conditions. I know for a fact that I don't, but I'm gonna say to do it because that's the correct thing to do. I think that the problem with Ledger, and I wish that they would have never gone down this route, because you can't undo that. You can't undo this expectation or this understanding now that it's this whole blockchain security privacy thing. They've started down the rabbit hole of your data is no longer yours. It's no longer secure. It's no longer set in stone or anything. It's now oh, we might be sending out, shards of your data to other third-party companies and dispersing it reasonably and with prejudice and stuff. But they've gone down this rabbit hole, and they'll never be able to come back from it. Ledger, as far as I'm concerned, Ledger is forever unfortunately tainted, right? And I love you guys over at Ledger. I wish you would have never done this, but you can't put that genie back in the box, right? You've started sending out parts of seed phrases all over the world to different companies, different information garters or whatever the hell. And the point of cryptocurrency, the point of a lot of this stuff that we delve in is self-sovereignty and taking care of your stuff on your own and being in charge of your own life, holding your own steering wheel rather than getting on someone else's bus or someone else's taxi or getting into an Uber. It's you're driving yourself down the road of your own life, right? So You can't do that when someone else has a steering wheel, or when they're sending, parts of your gas pedal off to multiple different companies, or whatever the heck. So, like, I wish that Ledger would have done better, but they done goofed, and it's undoable now. And so we all recommend, as far as I'm aware, most everyone recommends a Trezor, because Trezor still maintains the ethos of sovereignty and people controlling their own destiny, and things of that nature. Any thoughts from you guys? I'm gonna toss it off to you before I go on a monologue here.
I totally agree that Trezor is the best choice that I know of. They've proven to be solid. It also slows you down a lot, which I really like, especially for new users. I know sometimes I'm frustrated when I'm trying to put through 20 trades or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I do keep a hot wallet for certain arbitrage type events and things like that. But most of the time, me being slowed down, having to think about it, having to put in both the code on the Trezor itself, as well as the code to get into the Trezor, and the code on my Rabby wallet, having to put in those 3 codes and the secret phrase for that whatever particular wallet I'm trying to get into, because I have multiple layers of security. That 1 minute that it takes me to do those things has saved me from making a mistake on occasion, right?
Yeah.
From either looking, gives me a little bit of time to look closer at something to find out is this real, or to just reflect on, should I actually spend $200,000 on this meme coin that only got launched 17 seconds ago? And the answer was no, I should not.
Just the way it often is.
Damn, yeah, I don't think I would do that 17 minutes ago.
Nope, you should not.
Well, that'd be a hell of a snipe, though, that's for sure, because within that amount of time, you can definitely do some sniping with that.
Yeah, but that's a whole other game, right? And that, something like that could be a hot wallet game. It doesn't have to be, if you're moving around $200, you can do it in a hot wallet. So you can just click. But then once you've purchased you've sniped your meme coin in the first 17 seconds, then you send it to a cold wallet. You send it to your Trezor, right? And so you move $100 in and out of a hot wallet, but don't live in a hot wallet. Don't stake Hex in a hot wallet. Don't do things that are going to be there for a long time in a hot wallet, right?
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yep, I agree. If we want to go ahead and move back over, I actually had a couple of things to say about what you can do on the leverage.
Please take it away.
That is ink printer, right? So one of the things that I did kind of want to mention when we were talking about, price go up, price go down, what's the strategies you really want to do? Well, kind of the main strategy that most people think about is I'll throw my ink into ink printer, and then I'll grab the ink dollar, and I'll just let it sit there, and then the yield off of that, I'll just slowly pay back my ink until I'm able to put more back in, or I can pay that out for more ink and then put that to then receive more dollars back out, putting it back into the stable pool, right? Things like that. However, the way that I see it is you're going to have it's called printer token. Am I correct about that? Yeah.
Just print. The token is print. And it's, ink printer is the theme.
Okay, gotcha. So kind of the best way for you to be able to keep this loop rolling is you put ink in, right? You pull out the dollars, and if you think that the price is going to be going up in alts and ink and all that, right, you're going to want to put it into something that maybe is a little more volatile, aka the print token. And so then the print token will end up going up because it's going to be most likely liquidity linked to ink. Am I correct about that? Liquidity bonded to it?
Yeah, the print token will have a farm that's print and then ink together.
Yep. All right. And so then what you're going to want to do is use the yield from that to then go and buy more ink to put back in which then you can pull out more stables and continue that process, right? However, if you think, oh, we're kind of hitting the top of the bull run here, we've got, the possibility of this stuff sharply dropping, 99 or 98%, whatever, right? It maybe that's a possibility in the next few months or a year or so. Then maybe what you want to do is instead pull out all of the print token then and you want to move that actually into dollars, and then moving that into dollars, you're able to then pay back as much of the ink as possible, pull that out, and then maybe just wait for things to drop. Or you can go ahead and play it the same way as where now that you have it all in the ink D, you're able to put that into the pool now that it's dropping, and then just keep that going and buying more ink. So that way you can keep the and then maybe pay it back too. But you're able to keep that percentage higher or continually go up, because as percentage is going to drop as the price drops as well. And so therefore you can maintain. And what you end up with is you end up with a literal cycle long money printer that can, it is a little bit of maintaining, because you have to maintain continually pulling more dollars out as it goes up, right? But then also paying back and raising that percentage as the price goes down. So, there's a little bit of maintenance there, but I think it would definitely be well worth it, And yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, good points.
All
but
right.
yeah, people have to be on it if they're going to, they want to play games. But there's definitely an option for users to set things at like a level where they don't have to look at it every day, right? Like, you keep a really, really low, like high collateral ratio, and you don't have to look at it all the day, every day, to make sure that you're, not going to get redeemed against. There's also likely going to be things that could be built on top of it to automate some things, right? So,
well.
That could be a possibility. It's been done before. It could be done again.
It's been done before. Oh man, I'm curious to learn more about this stuff, but it sounds like it's all theoretical at this point.
Well, theoretical or not, like we already have on Pulse Chain, we have Amplifier by the Power City team, which covers their 2 liquidity forks, Earn and Flex, as well as liquid loans, I believe. And you can automate some strategies there. I'm told that Tetra's coming out at the end of March. Likely they would have some automation options.
About damn time. Tetra's been in the works forever. Shout out to those guys, by the way. There's people that are way smarter than me that talk about how cool Tetra is going to be, and I keep hearing Sloth and Kool-Aid and other folks talk about just like the crazy cool stuff that comes with the automation of like create your own smart machines or whatever on Pulse Chain, and it sounds really nifty. I don't understand a damn thing about it, but like, man, I like tools coming out. I very much like tools.
Yeah, the tools are good. And as far as like liquidity forks go, the Power City Amplifier is kind of like a specialized tool just for liquidity forks. So, to be able to do it with their 2 tokens and liquid loans, maybe they would add something like this on in the future, or maybe somebody else would launch something similar, but it's already been done on the Pulse Chain and there's other tools similar on Ethereum, etc., specifically for liquidity forks as well. And this is, these things are not an afterthought. It's not like, oh yeah, I'll just write up this quick script to automate this process involving stablecoins. It's kind of a big deal. It may actually be more complicated than the liquidity protocol itself. But like, yeah, it's doable, and it wouldn't be the most complicated thing I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, cool beans. We got lots of crazy cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah,
I like it. Bright prospects and futures. Speaking of bright prospects and futures, I want to go ahead and take a pause from our normal showtime and take a moment to go through some of the motherfucking chat shoutouts, because we've had quite a few people join us since we started and we did our initial round of chat shoutouts. Mrs. Producer, I know quite a few people have joined. I see you highlighting now. Excellent work. But it is about time we start giving folks that have hopped on in here thanks and acknowledge your guys' interaction with us. By the way, I don't know if we have dropped the stream link in the YouTube live comments. If we have not done that, either
I just did.
Oh, you did? Oh, excellent. All right, so yes, Nate has mentioned if you guys want to hop on Whiskey Wednesday tonight, come share your thoughts. He has dropped the link at streammedia.com/ I'm not going to read all those letters and numbers, but he just dropped it in the live chat. So if y'all want to hop on the stream with us and come talk about what's on your mind or tell us what you're drinking, whether you're drinking some Rogniers or some Labatt's or some Stella Artois, or you guys can show us all your super cool sunglasses and join the cool sunglasses crew. It's sunglasses crew. I know that Mr. Fastable, you've switched at least one time or something like that. I can't tell. It's hard to tell how many times Fastable switches things on camera. He's a sneaky fast camel trader. But
He's hella fast.
while we wait for you guys to join us, we're going to run through some of these chat shout outs. So, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind pulling up the first one, I believe our first chat shout out is from Mr. Crypto Compassion. I'm here for the tech. That sounds awfully familiar. I've heard that somewhere before. Mr. Fast Abdul, have you heard people say that before? I'm here for the tech.
No idea. Sounds kind of goofy.
It does sound a little bit goofy. Well, we're glad to have you, Mr. Crypto Compassion. Welcome to the stream, broski. Glad you could spend some time over here joining us on the Degen Roundtable. Next up in the chat shoutouts, we've got none other than our favorite Asian crypto stylist. Good morning to my favorite Degens.
Nice.
I'm fairly certain, anyways, that you're over in Asia. Good morning to you, Miss Crypto Stylist. Welcome to the stream. Glad that we could have you. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she's over in Asia. I know that I keep getting it confused.
I think she's in Korea, if I remember properly.
Korea.
I remember
don't know.
Hong Kong off the top of my head.
Somewhere over there.
Somewhere over there.
They're all at a very different time zone. It's like,
yes, I know. Forgive me, Crypto. I know that I kept confusing you for being over in London or something, but wherever you're at, I'm glad that you're having a great morning, and I'm glad that you had time to join your favorite Degens here on the Degen Roundtable. Thank you for hopping on in here, Crypto Stylist. Next up, though, we've got X Money Man 1000 saying, "Hey there, Fast Abdul. Do you know this guy, Mr. Fast Abdul? Is this a cool cat?
he sounds familiar.
He's got the purple and the blue. Mr. Producer, can you pull up that chat again? I'm gonna look at his icon. It looks like there's a lightsaber going through his head, but I don't think it's a lightsaber. It looks like he might be a Sith Lord of the pulse chain variety. So here's to you, Mr. X Money Man, or yeah, Money Man 1000. What a name. I fucking love it. Good to see you, broski. Welcome. Next up in the chat shoutouts, we've got none other than our favorite Frank White with the bang Degen gain. Good to see you, Frank White. Shout out to you and all of the Function Island homies over there. I can't remember what all else to do, Frank White, but Frank White is a fantastic member of the Pulse Chain community. Good to see you, broski. Welcome to the chats. Glad that we could have you on this fantastic Wednesday stream. Next up in the chat shoutouts, my God, we got some interesting ones. We got 1059 Fikri Nurmajid. I don't know. Forgive me, broski. I don't know how to pronounce your name. No idea what language that is. So I'm just going to say good morning. It's good morning to you too, Mr. 1059. One of the favorite times before 11 o'clock in the morning. And then next in the chat shoutouts, we've got our very favorite Down Under Land Clintrons. What's good, folks? What's good with you two, Mr. or Mrs. Clintrons? Welcome to the stream. We're having a great time. I hope that you're having a great time too. By the way, folks, make sure that y'all comment in the chats below if y'all are drinking anything fancy tonight. Whether you're drinking some fancy I can't reach out of my box here. Whether you're drinking some fancy schmancy Pacific Northwest Rognier beers, whether you're drinking some of Mr. Nate McGettitt's Pellegrino. I thought you were drinking Stella Artois. Well. There we go. Okay, yeah, whether you're drinking some Pellegrino, some Stella Artois, make sure y'all put in the comments what you're drinking on this fantastic Whiskey Wednesday. I'm not much of a fan for whiskey, but I do like how the WW rolls off the tongue, so we fucking roll with it. But make sure y'all comment what y'all are drinking. We love to see it. Mr. Fast Abdul, by the way, are you sipping on anything fancy schmancy? You got yourself a water?
I got myself a coffee.
Coffee. I was about to say that looks like a Moscow Mule.
I am multitasking. I have a lot of things going on the last couple of days. I don't know why. It's just like there's like this stuff with projects and things, and
it's tough being the fastest. Dude, fastest camel trader in the east, the west, the north, and the south. That's a demanding job. So I totally understand you sipping on the coffee. We've
had some good Whiskey Wednesdays in the past. I'm not sure if you guys remember. I think you were pretty drunk, but like. We've had some good times, like where many beers were consumed.
I have Man, my memory is bad, and the moon juice makes it even more so. I probably had like 4 or 5 drinks before even starting the stream, so I don't even know how far down the rabbit hole I am right now. But we're having a good time. Make sure
We've
y'all
had a hell of a good time.
comment in the chats what y'all are drinking, because we're all having a great time over here. But next up in the chat shoutouts, we've got, it looks like Mr. Pulse Ninja 411. I still use a ledger only for the vault and hot trade and a hot wallet to trade and whatever. Then there is the clever wallet. I'm not sure what the clever wallet is, but it sounds like it's a pretty clever thing to do. So shout out to you, Mr. Pulse Ninja. I fucking loved it. Or excuse me, Pulse X Ninja 411. I want to know what that 411 stands for. In my Marine Corps days, an 0411 is a administrative MIMS clerk or something along those lines. So shout out to all my fellow Marines out there.
Information. It stands for information.
411? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good
it's
to
like
know.
The number you call in Canada.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, dude. I forgot about that. In the days before the internet smartphones, you got the 411, you got the 611, the 911, the 811. God damn. Call 811, call before you dig. All that shit. Damn, dude. I guess we're letting our age show here, Mr. Fast Duel. That's freaking awesome. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I don't think it's used by the Zoomers aren't dialing 411 on their phone. I don't know if that even works anywhere in the world anymore.
I kind of want to try it after the stream. I might give it a go, but we'll see. Glad to see you, Mr. Pulse X in the something 411. Next up in the chat, shoutouts. We've got Hex Monkey. Actually, Mrs. Producer, we've got Print for the win. Fuck yeah, coming up with the thing. But yes, Mr. Producer, you read my mind. Go ahead and bring up that super chat by none other than Mr. Hex Monkey. Next round is on me. Sorry, I'm out of dong. Fast Duel. Yes, no Indonesian dong, or what is it? Vietnamese
That's a
dong?
Vietnamese dong. But $20 US is like 500,000 Vietnamese dong or something.
Yeah.
So, you could get a lot of dong there.
If you guys want your dollar to go far, go to Vietnam, because like your dollar will take you a long fucking way over in
Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, just in that general area. And it's not terrible living out there either. Not bad at all.
I don't know. India, your money goes a long ways, but it's kind of terrible. Was my general experience, but I kept going back.
India,
I've never been to Vietnam, but Thailand is lovely. I like Thailand.
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about India, depending on where you go. So
you'd be good, Will. You can go to India.
I think I would have a good time. I think I'd have a good time any fucking where. It's just like I like the places where my dollar goes farther. I get to feel like I'm a king as a middle class person. All right. Continuing on with the chat shoutouts, we've got Mr. KRJ Crypto. I have arrived. Oh man, this reminds me of an old joke. And perhaps it is a Whiskey Wednesday, so why not? But in America, a lot of Americans, when they're performing the coital act, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm coming," and then in over in Britain, they're like, "Good heavens, I'm arriving," with their little monocles and their top hat, as the British are known. So
okay, that's enough of that. Nope, we're not gonna get demonetized tonight, guys.
We're glad to see that you have arrived, Mr. KRJ Crypto. Welcome to the stream. We are demonetized already. What are you talking about, Miss Spaghetti? We've been demonetized since day one. But it's good to we are glad to have you, amigo.
This follow-up comment.
Yes, Mr. KRJ Crypto. That's my grand entrance. Good to have you, broski. By the way, that's some excellent branding. I love your icon over there. I'm a big fan of marketing and everything, so glad that we can have you. Next up, we've got Mr. Grumpy Schnauzer. And by the way, I'm presuming all of you guys are misters, unless you make it obvious that you're a woman, because there are no girls on the internet. But we've got Mr. Grumpy Schnauzer with coffee down under. Glad that we can have our Australian upside down folks hanging out. Oh, there we go. Oh, dang it. We've got our Australian. This is for you out there in the land down under. I hope y'all are having a great fucking time living your worlds upside down with your toilets flushing the backwards ways. Good to see you, and glad that you guys. Do they even have coffee down in Australia? Does that even grow down there? Do you guys? What I want to know, what are all the differences between all the Western countries and everything? But we're glad to have you on the stream. welcome, welcome. Next up in the chat shoutouts, and man, we got a lot of them. We got Hexagon Lost in Asia. I'm just here for the fist pumps. The fist pumps all the way up to the top. Good to see Mr. Hexagon Lost in Asia. Welcome, welcome. Wait, we shouted you out earlier, so congratulations. You get 2 of them. After that, we've got Money Gang Crypto in the house. Good morning to you too, my fantastic sir. Welcome, welcome, Money Gang Crypto. I think this is the first time I've seen you on Degen Roundtable. Welcome, broski. I fucking love your streams. The one you did with RG3 the other day was absolutely fantastic. I watched the whole thing. Man, that was so good. Glad to have you, Money Gang Crypto. Kangaroo fighting for the win. That's fucking awesome. And then finally for the chat shoutouts to bring us back to the top, we've got Mr. Beyond All saying, "Sup, Degens, Fast Abdul, get us the sack price faster, dude. Come on, Fast Abdul.
Working on it.
What are you doing, man? Bring us back up to that. Bring us back up to that sack price. My God!" And then just like I'm scrolling through the live chats. Y'all are going fucking ham tonight. This is great. I love to see it. You go to India, you'll be a rupee billionaire. Kangaroo fighting, buying everything from other places. Nothing grows here. Oh, Mrs. Producer, can you bring that one up? The last one from Grumpy Schnauzer. We buy everything from other places. Nothing grows here. Just snakes, roos, and spiders. Yes, that's absolutely right. I would love to know.
I believe it.
The trouble with being a rupee billionaire is that, like on my India trips, it was usually for business, right? And sometimes I make these deals. I'd be paying a guy like $2,000 or something like that, like not a crazy amount of money. And so I'd go to a bank machine, and you can only take out 10,000 Indian rupees at a time, like per transaction, which almost nobody there does. But it's like this big, right? Like it's 10,000 rupees, and so like, to give a guy $2,000, like I'm doing like 10 separate transactions, and like 10,000 rupees is about $200, and so I'm doing 10 separate transactions and basically filling like a backpack with money, right? Like it would take like 20 minutes to get the money.
It's like Weimar Germany.
Man, that reminds me of like what happened with the Franks when unable to go buy a loaf of bread, you had to have a wheelbarrow of money. That's just. Yeah, it's disgusting, man.
It's almost
what is Zimbabwe made the what was it, $1 trillion?
$1 trillion bill,
yeah. Oh God.
Ooh, I've got the I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the background I've got the Rhodesia flag up there underneath my clock. The Sit Nomine Digna, may I be worthy of the there we go. Right over there. I'm a big fan of Rhodesia. I don't know a whole lot about what goes on in Zimbabwe and South Africa. But that was one of the things that I grew up like listening to stories of Zimbabwe and Rhodesians talking about, like the breadbasket of Africa, how things used to be awesome and crazy cool, and then all the different like war stuff going on. But yeah, man, like inflation's fucking nuts, dude. I can only imagine walking around the streets of India with a backpack full of just like cold hard cash. It's like after a certain point, it doesn't become fungible anymore. And it's like, oh, we need bigger numbers. I know back in, I want to say it was the 1960s, they created $1,000 bills or something like that in the United States, but they never really caught on. We're stuck with like the $100 ones as the maximum.
We had them in Canada as well, but they stopped making them. The biggest bill ever was the generally used bill anyway was like €1,000 bill, but I think they canceled that because it's just like, the main reason to have such a thing is like probably for money laundering of some type, right?
Yeah.
So
I have a totally non sequitur and possibly not kosher question on YouTube. In fact, well, fuck, it is Whiskey Wednesday, but I have a question about strip clubs in Canada. Is that something that we're good with talking about, Mrs. Producer? Because I know that in Canada, they use loonies and toonies for $1 and $2 for tipping and stripping and stuff.
I mean, you're not going to offend me if that's what you're worried about, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this stream might get in trouble. Just keep.
Hey, this stream's already a lost cause. So in Canada, for those of you guys,
fun moment though, real quick here before you go on this.
Let's hear it.
When you went to show us your flag, I'm looking everywhere for like a little mini flag, and I totally and completely missed it behind your door.
Oh yeah. That's
it took me a minute to realize it was there because I'm looking for like a small thing. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah. It's a good flag. I want to know though, Mr. Fast Abdul, when
Yep.
it comes to strip clubs in Canada, in the United States, we throw $1 bills. That's like the thing that you do in like the lower class strip clubs. If you're going to like the fancy strip clubs in Vegas, like you better bring a fucking stack of hundreds or something, because like you're not going to get strippers with $1 bills. But like in the regular, strip clubs at your local I wanted to say strip outlet, but at your local Walgreens with the strip club next door. You throw like the $1 bills, but in Canada they got loonies and toonies, so it's like the $1 coin and the $2 coin.
Yep.
So like, are there people with like little coin dispensers that are like putting coins up on strip clubs, or is it just like the polite thing to throw fives at strippers? What is the strip club etiquette up in Canada? Or are you allowed
First,
to talk about this?
general disclaimer: I'm not a huge strip club fan.
Sure.
So I haven't been lately. But memories of my youth is that like they just throw the loonies and toonies at the stripper. So you're throwing these like fairly decent sized.
They're not small coins.
Yeah, like the loonies are like yay big, a toonie's a little bit bigger. You're throwing them at the stripper, and there'd be games such as the stripper might hang like a keychain, or maybe stick a postcard to her body, and you'd try to knock it off with loonies, and then you'd get that keychain or whatever memorabilia she was hanging off some part of her body. So that's a little competition there, some Canadian sport. It was just so you know, for etiquette wise, it's frowned upon to heat the loonie or toonie up with your lighter first before throwing it at the stripper. That'll get you kicked out right away.
That makes sense. Yep. So no blowtorches in strip clubs.
Wait, so how heavy are these things? Like how solid are they? It's not like paper or anything. Like, is this actual like, metal coins?
No, it's like 2.5 quarters, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like a Sacagawea coin, Nate. Like
imagine just taking these things and just fucking chucking them at
you take like a loony in the head, like you can't get it going that fast, but like if you chucked it at the stripper's head, like then you'd get beat up out back, right? Like it won't go down. But like
I got that accuracy.
The sad thing is, and of course, like unlike there's no way to stick a loony inside a garter belt or what have you, right?
Correct.
So at the end of the event, after the lady is done dancing, then they crawl around and gather up all their loonies, which is a uniquely demoralizing thing to watch. Because they're all on the ground, right? At the end of the show, right?
Last time I was in a strip club in the States and everyone was throwing ones, there was actually a person that came out to the stage with like a push broom, and they push all the money into like a little bin, and then they like bag it up and they give it to the stripper.
Well,
and so it was like
that's classier than I remember.
It was provided by the house, so it was pretty fucking cool. That's interesting though.
You must be going to the fancy strip clubs where they got
I
rooms.
suppose so. Yeah, there's some crazy strip clubs in the States, man. If anyone ever goes to Tennessee, they have some interesting rules in the state of Tennessee when it comes to strip clubs. Some states, like, they don't allow nudity, or they don't allow whatever, which is like, what is this even a strip club? Like, what's the point here? But that's interesting to know that in Canada you can just throw fucking coins at people.
That being said, there's some provinces in Canada, and there's only 10 provinces in Canada. The US would be the 11th. If you guys are interested, we could talk about it. But some entire provinces are not allowed to have strippers.
Yeah. I mean, and that makes sense. Like, because throwing these little coins, it's like for us, for you States folks that have never been to Canada before, a toonie is in between, like, if you guys have ever had the opportunity to see a 50-cent piece, it's in between a 50-cent piece and a quarter. It's like, it's just a little bit bigger than a Sacagawea coin. So like the $1 coins, like that's freaking nuts, man, that they're throwing that shit at strippers. That's totally crazy. We're gonna get back to our regular programming though, talking about Rhodesia, talking about strip clubs, talking about all the spicy things here on the Degen Roundtable, where y'all hear all the fanciest stuff on these whiskiest of Wednesdays.
Well,
let's get back.
So you want to know something interesting?
I do. Yes.
I was speaking of strip clubs and strippers,
Uh-huh.
I was kind of doing a deep dive into the world of rap music and how, from the 80s it transitioned to the 90s and then into the 2000s. And one of the biggest things that ended up happening was during the late 80s and into the 90s, if you were a stripper at like one of the strip clubs down in like Georgia or wherever, where the majority of these Eastern or even Western rappers would pop up, you were expecting rappers to come in and start throwing thousands of dollars at you and be like, hey, I want you to come do a video for me, which they called video vixens at the time, or we're going to go to a party or whatever. And so the stripper's life back in that time was actually pretty lucrative, because actually, if you think about it now, it's a lot like how Instagram girls are right now. You constantly
It's
get
basically the same thing. Yeah.
But it was a little more hidden back then versus Instagram now, right? But yeah, no, it's an interesting thing how it's like, hey, I just need a bunch of really hot chicks for this video. What am I gonna do? Go into a strip club and just start throwing thousands of dollars everywhere?
Yep, exactly. It's like, hey, man, if only there was a place I can go to that had a whole, like, I need a bunch of plumbing done at my house. If only I could go to like a plumbers convention and find a whole bunch of plumbers and throw money at them and get them to go like do the plumbing at my local building or whatever, right?
Right.
Same sort of thing. Sex sells, attention sells, pretty women on the internet sells, music videos. It's all part of the same dealio. If you're a woman out there and you're listening to the podcast, congratulations, you're part of the 0.05% of like women on the internet that listen to cryptocurrency stuff. And if you want to make a ton of money and sell yourself online, then hey, there's a way to do it. You get extremely attractive. You go up to Canada, you get people to throw coins at you, or you go back to the 1990s and you hang out in a whole bunch of places where rappers go or something like that. I think you can dance around and have some fun stuff. Let's take it back to
financial advice.
Yes, not financial advice, not life advice. I hope to God, if any of you guys are listening to this podcast and you're taking as what we say as anything other than just some assholes on the internet talking about their feelings, and like, I wish the best of luck to you. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I think that we have a whole bunch of stories that we can tell. We have a whole bunch of entertainment that we can give, and that's about as far as the Degen Roundtable goes. None of this is financial advice. We're simply here to give you guys tools, to give you guys information, to give you guys a little bit of entertainment. Yes, Mr. Producer is absolutely right. Absolutely not financial advice. This is all just like we're kicking the shit. We're having some fun on this Whiskey Wednesday. By the way, if you guys want to hop on stream with us, if y'all want to talk about your newest cool thing going on, if you want to talk about the difference of strip clubs in your country, or tell us the cool new projects that you're launching, then go ahead and click on that StreamYard link that we launched a while ago. I suppose, Nate, can you go ahead and drop the StreamYard link again in the chats? It looks like you're already
working on it.
Excellent. I love to see it. If anybody wants to hop in here for the last like 20 to 30 minutes of the show, just come on and click that link right on over there, streamyard.com/man Alpha Sierra Foxtrot 3 Golf Uniform Hotel Delta Quebec Mike. I forgot what M is. But yeah, there it is. Mr. Producer, can you pull it up on screen? Or pull it up on, yes, there we go. Excellent. Hop on in and come join us on stream if y'all want to talk shit about stripping, y'all want to talk shit about cryptocurrency, talk shit about anything. What I want to know though, Mr. Fast Abdul and Mr. Nate and Mr. Producer, what are the things that have happened over the last few weeks or so that have you hopeful for stuff going on in the near future? What is the thing, and it could be macroeconomics, it could be personal, it could be whatever, but what's the thing that has you like, with like a bright shining light on the future horizon? What's the coolest thing that you think is happening right now? I'll go ahead and toss over to Mr. Fast Abdul because you are already unmuted, sir. What do you think is the coolest thing that's happening right now?
I think I'm hyper focused on the pulse chain, obviously, and I see things moving that are interesting that I think are leading up to something big. So,
yes,
the biggest things obviously are pulse chain level macro stuff like Richard, like the OA address staking Hex, the whoever controls PulseX, reducing the ink inflation 3 times, I believe, in relatively short order. I'm bullish on things that RH may be doing or is aware of that haven't happened at all for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So almost more than the things themselves, it's the fact that anything is happening, that that somebody is pressing buttons that seems to control the OA account, that seems to control PulseX, that's launching pump.tires. Like, these are big moves from an entity that was utterly silent for like a long time. Which makes me think they might know something. Maybe they know something about the case or something about the market. They're preparing for war, and they're preparing the pulse chain for war with reducing liquidity on PulseX by making it so basically you shouldn't be in the farms on PulseX. The math is bad, which obviously works for my protocol that is now the leading yield provider on the pulse chain. But it's bullish that that's happened. But there's also like kind of micro stuff. Like, just for example, the other day, a copied Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. So like when the fork happened, NFTs were copied, just like the P copies we have. We have P copies of NFTs sold for 33 million Pulse, $1,500 on Pulse Market. So like that's big. That's like, that means that there's value starting to be allotted to these things on Pulse Chain. Then initially, like, you could have bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT for like 100,000 Pulse, and now it's 33 million Pulse. Like, okay, that's cool. So we're starting to see value in, and of course, most like pictures of monkeys maintain their utility on both Ethereum and the Pulse Chain. So it's an excellent example of that. It's still a picture of a monkey. It's still a limited supply. In fact, more limited on the Pulse Chain than anywhere else, because there'll never be any more. So like blue chip NFTs picking up value, that's bullish. The OA account doing stuff, that's bullish. Like, I think it's starting to come. It's just not here yet, but I'm very bullish about the movements towards, the final product, so to speak.
Man, that's a perfect sequitur too, because for me, I'm seeing all that and I agree with you. It's very exciting to watch these things happening. However, on my side of things, there's a couple of other very exciting moves that are happening, and it's things like Trump loves ETH, right?
Yes.
The fact that he's putting in like $400 million in the ETH, and then you got all these, and it's almost like he's the spear. He starts doing this, talking really good stuff about ETH, and then all of a sudden you start having the institutions and other big players buying into ETH as well. I think it's strange how ETH still really hasn't pumped massively yet, but it's definitely coming. It is locked and loaded. It is just, the spring is loaded. It's ready to shoot up. And here's the thing, when ETH goes up, what's the leverage on ETH? Pulse chain, right? And that's going to cause the entire ecosystem to shoot up. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then also off of that as well, speaking of Trump, the fact that this administration has been in for like 3 weeks and all the stuff has been happening, you can tell that this is a man on a mission. Elon Musk is definitely another one of those guys. He's basically doing this for free, trying to expose all the corruption in the United States government and all that, and doing a very damn good job, as well as his team and everybody else. There's a very bright future for that, kind of almost like taking our country back sort of deal. And out of this type of administration, you've got very crypto friendly regulations that are going to be coming out. Those crypto friendly regulations, like I've been saying, for a while, is going to encourage these institutions and large players to put even more money, more into ETH. And once ETH starts really taking off, the FOMO effect is going to happen. People are going to start moving that Bitcoin, the Bitcoin that they already have, BlackRock's Bitcoin, over into ETH, which is going to just pump it even further. That's going to ultimately be number one, wave one, but then I think it's going to be our blow off top sort of towards the Q4, right, of this year. And I'll tell you what, when we get a blow off top with ETH, Pulse Chain is going to absolutely fly. So we have hope in the country again, because it hasn't been there for a while. We've got hope in ETH really taking off because it hasn't been there for a while. And we've also got hope in Pulse Chain and the whole ecosystem that's happening within Pulse Chain, the whole city of Pulse Chain, which again hasn't happened for a while. this is a very hopeful time that we're currently in. And I do believe that positive things are going to be happening. Just stick with it, guys. We are going to be fucking rich as all hell.
I do think that we're going to be doing pretty well. Like Fast Abdul was saying, the origin address for Hex doing things. It's not unprecedented, but it was unexpected, and I thought that was pretty damn cool at the time. When it first started happening, I was a little bit concerned because I had like just got off of a flight and I was like right back into the States, and it's like, oh my god, everything's happening. Like I've been disconnected from the internet for 3 hours on my way back from El Salvador, and now like the world is coming to an end and Pulse Chain is going crazy because everyone's freaking out the origin address is staking. But it's like, this is the address that seems to be very interested in keeping the everything in the Hex ecosystem, the Pulse Chain ecosystem, in the Richard Hart world. They seem to be interested in keeping it in tip-top condition and tip-top value. So I'm quite stoked to see it doing stuff, and I think that's the coolest thing that's been happening as of late. Like, there's been a lot of news about other countries, buying Bitcoin, and other states all interested in doing all this reserve balances and things of that nature. There was actually this really funny article that I saw in crypto news. It was like CZ Changpeng Zhao was like, people were very happy when Bitcoin hit $70,000, and people are just totally devastated now that Bitcoin is $94,000. And it's just like, yeah, you can't keep the crypto guys happy. We're gonna be going through this crazy, ups and downs, and lefts and rights and yins and yangs, and we're gonna be going through this mental, what's the word, this mental labyrinth of just emotional outbursts and everything for so crazy long. It's just going to be a total shit show as to what we expect and what's going to actually happen. So here's to the near future looking bright. Mrs. Producer, I haven't given you an opportunity to weigh in at all. Actually, what's the thing? And this could be personal, this could be professional, this could be in the Pokemon world, it could be in the crypto world, it could be in the crazy cool world. But I want to toss it over to you, Mrs. Producer, and ask you what is the cool thing in the future that you think is unraveling? What is the thing that's got you the most excited in these past few weeks? What's the thing that puts a light on the horizon for you before we start winding down the show and moving to close here?
I don't really know if I have a good answer for that. I will say, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm not sure if I'm meant to share, but I mean, everybody will find out when the event happens. But I'm being, I guess, recruited to help out with a lot of things for the Pulse 369 event, and that's been really exciting because,
nice.
I mean, that's just kind of what I hoped, once I got into like the flow of producing for DRT and kind of got that experience that other people would also, want to utilize those abilities and ask for help, and because I just really like helping people, I guess. And then other than that, kind of a random one, but one of my good friends in the Pokemon community who had a store previously, she ended up getting kind of a divorce and lost everything. Really tough situation for her. She's restarting now. She's got the website up and running again. She's starting to get more and more items because the way it works with Pokemon, once people start buying from you, the distributors will give you more to sell. But like when you're just starting out and you're really tiny, they hardball you. Like they up the prices at random. They just charge you whatever you want, and it's like you just got to take what you can get. So she's kind of in that position, but she's starting to get up there. I think she said she had like 200 orders on the website, over this past few months. So that's really cool to see. I'm really excited for her and to see where that goes. She wants to get her brick and mortar back, and I think she's heading in the right direction. I'm doing everything I can to just show support. So that's really exciting.
Excellent. Cool. I like it. I like it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up to the end of our 2-hour show here. It is time for us to go and start shouting out stuff that's going on in the near future and things of that nature. I want to toss it over to you, our guest first, Mr. Fast Abdul. Can you tell the folks where they can find you and what's going on with you in the near future, my friend.
Well, for starters, you will be able to find me at the PLS 369 conference in Vegas.
Hell yeah.
March 6th to 9th, I believe. We'll have a booth there that we're sharing with some other gentlemen, the Magic Carp Ride guys, Vetsy Crypto, King Pui. So that's cool. You can visit the booth. We'll chat you up. And I believe I'm also a speaker on 2 or 3 different panels. So, yeah, if you're attending the conference, we'll see you there. And there's lots of cool stuff going on. So if you're in the neighborhood of Vegas, come up and say hi.
Excellent. I like it. I like it. Mr. Nate, where can the folks find you and what have you got going on in the near future? Mr. Producer, I'm coming to you next.
Yeah, well, you can find me on the twatters right down here, x.com, ascendingman369. Go ahead and get in touch with me there, or you can go ahead and reach me over on the YouTubes, which is literally just type in this name right here, and my YouTube will pop up. You'll be able to go have a look at my more short form content. Oftentimes while I'm out doing my job, I'll get ideas about things that are just happening, possibly things that could, move the market around. And so I tend to want to try and get those ideas out. I was a little bit lazy over the weekend with doing my two-wave alt seasons theory and how exactly this bull run is gonna move through, my predictions on that. Yeah, so I guess I'll just have to do that probably tomorrow. With that being said, though, there's a lot of good things coming. I'll go ahead and just end it there on that one. There's a lot of good things coming. Look forward to it. Sub to this channel. Make sure you get into our Telegram group because we are always trying to give you the best possible quality and value, as well as some entertainment like tonight. So absolutely be part of the community. Get into our Telegram. All you got to do is simply scan that QR code right there. You'll be able to get into our Telegram and be able to, well, go a long distance. Oh, and I got one last thing. You're talking about positive things, really cool things that are happening. So I got from Cryptographics, I got these
yes,
these specialty
love
ones made.
those.
There's
Shout
only
out to Gaffix.
Gaffix, man. I love the guy. He is awesome. We will be seeing him down in Las Vegas. I am looking forward to meeting him. I got to give him a big old hug. But these ones are custom made. Only 5 of them were ever made. I've already given out 3 of them.
Oh,
and
so
I got
cool.
another person who I think is really going to want to use them because there's a few people in my work who are trying to become financially free, and they think that XRP or ETH or Bitcoin is going to be the way. And I'm like, dude, that is not the way. I shall show you the way. And so, yeah, I hand those out for him. One of the guys too, he's in a little bit of money trouble, and this could be life-changing for him. And he's willing to take a shot. And so, Richard Hart, that you would be changing someone's life right there alone. So, yeah, very positive things coming. And I'm glad that a lot of people are waking up and even like hearing me out, If I don't talk about Doge or XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum, people tend to like close it out like, oh, you don't actually know what you're doing, even though I'm known as the crypto guy at work, right? So yeah, it's definitely it's definitely encouraging that people are now starting to listen and actually want to take action because these people have taken action, and I'm really proud of them.
That's an indicator, man. That's a top signal. Careful there, fellas. We fucking we love the indicators. For the folks at home who again who actually before I go into my spiel about myself, I'm gonna do a quick little round of chat motherfucking shoutouts. There we go. We've got a couple folks who have joined us since we did the last round of chat shoutouts. Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind pulling up. Our first one is from Niles Jenkins. Shout out to you, Niles Jenkins. Niles Jenkins is actually an emoji in the DRT Telegram community emoji group. So if you guys are Degen Roundtable members and you want an emoji, then just hit me up on Telegram. And the way to do that is to go to t.me/Will Stevenson with the W and the S capitalized. Send me a message there and send me the picture that you want me to make for your little emoji. If you want to be a part of the Degen Roundtable emoji group, we have all of the founders. We've got Niles Jenkins, we've got Farmer Jay, we've also got Gains by Casey. Those are so far the only people that have sent me anything to do with creating some sort of little emoji for them in the Degen Roundtable emoji group for Telegram. But it's super cool and awesome. Glad to see you, Niles Jenkins. Pour a Sino Grigio for me, gang. We will abso-fucking-lutely do that. I don't drink no wine. I'm more of a beer feller myself. But, you know, I'm sure somebody out there is pouring a Sino Grigio just for you. And yes, that is a play on words for the Pinot Grigio. And then shout out to none other than Crypto Gaffix, the man, the myth, the legend, who says, who DRT plus Fastive Duel. Bro, fucking shout out to you, man. Like, Crypto Gaffix has made some excellent products. He's the one that made those cool little Degen Roundtable seed phrase cards. Like that's so fucking awesome, man. Like, I had no idea that you were doing that. You just you sent them to people. Like, shout out to Smooth Brain. Thanks for the stream, gents. Yes, absolutely right, Mr. Smooth Brain. We are super happy to be entertaining you today. But I want to take it back to Crypto Gaffix. He just started mailing people so I bought a bunch of the seed phrase cards and the crypto onboarding cards on using my own personal account on Amazon, and I sent it out to friends of mine, and Nate was one of them. And so Mr. Crypto Gaffix was kind enough to send these people Degen Roundtable seed phrase cards, which is the coolest fucking thing. Like, he went out of his way to find our logo and turn it into a fucking piece of plastic that people can store their seed phrases on. So it just, when I first heard that this was happening, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is so fucking cool. Like, what a bro. So shout out to you, Mr. Crypto Gaffix. I fucking love you, dude. Like, you make some awesome products. We did a cool interview with him several weeks ago. Go check it out. It's in the Degen Roundtable YouTube anthology. You guys can find our interview with Crypto Gaffix on one of our Whiskey Wednesday episodes. Super fun episode, super crazy, cool, awesome guy. He's looking to teach more people about how to get into crypto, how to do the onboarding, and how to bring more people into the pulse chain space. So I fucking love you, broski, wherever you are out there. The things you're doing is fucking great. So shout out to all y'all folks in the chats and everything. To bring it back to the show closeout information. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Will Stevenson. You guys can find me at facebook.com/will.stevenson. Yeah, there it is. Hey, look at that. I dropped my Facebook link this time. I normally drop my link for the link tree, will.pls.fyi, but that's the one that I decided to drop today. If y'all want to find me on social media, you can find me, again, will.pls.fyi, or you can click on that link below and find my Facebook. Next time I'll drop maybe my Insta or my Twittergram or Instagram or Twitter. I'm way too fucking drunk to be hosting right now. This is good. We do it live, folks. We do it fucking live. So y'all can find me on Facebook at that link right there that I dropped in the live stream. As far as things going on with the Degen Roundtable in the near future, I believe that we have book club coming up on Friday where we will be covering Pirate Money. I'm pretty sure is the book that we're covering. A good book that talks about how states can make money using silver and gold as a reserve currency and other things of that nature. On Sunday, we have our flagship Sunday show where we'll be talking about the news and everything of that nature. This is our Whiskey Wednesday show where we talk to fantastic, awesome guests such as Fast Abdul and Mrs. Producer and Mr. Nate McGettit and myself, and we hang out and do some great, cool, awesome streaming, and I guess talk about strippers and coins and other such fun things. Other Degen Roundtable stuff going on in the near future. You can find myself, Nate McGettit, Mrs. McGettit, and Zenith down at the Pulse Chain Conference on March 6th through 9th down in Las Vegas. I highly recommend you guys all go and get a ticket at pulsechaintour.com using promo code Degen. Mrs. Producer, if it's not too much to ask, once I do the end of show, if you can play our little preview for folks to go and get their tickets. It's no longer 40% off or 36.9% off. It is now whatever the hell percent off, but you guys can get a little bit of a discount using promo code Degen. is my understanding. Yes, there it is, down right there below on the scrolling chyron at the bottom. You can get your tickets to the 369 Pool Store Conference using code DGEN at checkout to unlock 10% off your tickets. So I highly suggest that. And that's all that I've got going on. That's all the Degen Roundtable's got going on. And now it's time for the end of the show copywriting. So I'm going to go ahead and read off our Chat GPT version of the preamble to the Degen Roundtable Constitution. So, we the debauched, in the pursuit of chaotic and anime enjoying harmony, oh, I forgot about that part, unite to form a more questionable union and establish strictly unregulated fun to ensure a steady flow of libations, and provide for our collective shenanigans, all while promoting the art of bad decisions and securing the blessings of free-spirited vibes to ourselves and future party animals, do hereby establish this glorious podcast aimed at indulgence and excess for all who dare to live recklessly. Will you join us and turn down for what? I want to thank all of you for spending your valuable time with us here on the Degen Roundtable. As Agent J often says, we know that time is your most valuable asset, and we appreciate you spending that asset right here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Stevenson, but more importantly, you have been watching the Degen Roundtable. Mrs. Producer, go ahead and get that trigger finger ready, because it's time to remind all the folks at home to remember to Degen responsibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pulse Chain Tour Masters Golf Tournament 2024. Zenith is making his approach to the green on this sudden death playoff between himself and Reginald Gerald III, who already completed his putt for birdie. Zenith needs to make this putt right here in order for his dreams of winning that jacket to stay alive. Let's see what he does. Oh! Oh, he flubbed it! He missed! He whiffed! He's a loser! Loser! I repeat, RG3 wins! RG3 wins! Don't make mistakes like that guy. Get ready early for Pulse Chain Tour Las Vegas 2025, including the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament from March 6th through the 9th. Sign up early and use the code DGEN at checkout before September 1st to get 36.9% off all of your tickets. Don't miss out on all the fun from the star-studded conferences, golf tournament, and nightly events in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada with all of your friends and favorite Pulse and Hex creators. We cannot wait to see you in Vegas, so until then, Degen responsibly.